Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, everyone? I am back with another video. This one is specifically for new teachers out there that's wondering about pay. Is it worth it going into teaching? You know it's your passion, but you don't know if you would be able to sustain your livelihood because you don't know if you're going to get paid enough. So I wanted to do this video to talk about pay expectations. And of course, it's going to be different state to state. I live in the state of Virginia. I'm a Virginia girl, born and raised, so I am here. And it's going to be different from state to state. So I just want to talk about my experience. So I did a little bit of digging. I do have my paperwork from when I first got my offer. And it was a very exciting time for me. Because I was coming from a job that I absolutely hated. Just a little bit of background information. I am a career switcher. And I was working for this, I worked at this job and it wasn't in my field. So I went to college and I was like, I don't want to feel like I wasted time and I wasted money getting a degree I wasn't going to use. So I absolutely loved that job. I love my coworkers. But I got offered another job in my field. So I went to work as a lab tech. And I absolutely hated this. Absolutely hated working. I was working in microbiology. And when I first started working there, it was about, I think, was it 4 of us, 3 or 4 of us? I don't know. In my first week, the first person quit. I think it was 3 of us. So then it was just me and this guy. So then he went to go work at a hospital being a lab tech. And he quit. So for about a year, it was just me. They never hired anyone else to replace those positions. They never thought about giving me a raise. So for about a year, it was just me. And I don't know if that made me hate it more. I did like the fact that I was just by myself all the time doing my work. I was kind of secluded, but it was a lot of work that I had to kick out for 3 people, and I'm only just one person. So I didn't really like it. So that job was second shift because we had to get in all of the stuff or the specimens from the doctor's office. So I worked that second shift. So during first shift, I started substitute teaching. And I would always go into teaching, or when I was a substitute, I would always try to do something scientific with my classes. And if I saw that a science teacher was out, then those were the classes or the jobs that I would tend to gravitate towards. So I would always do some type of little experiment, not lasting more than 5 or 10 minutes. And I won't say experiment, I would say demonstration with the students. So I started to feel like this was my passion. Also, one of my good girlfriends, she started teaching and I spoke with her about it. And we're coming from just about the same background, both having just a bachelor's degree. And she was like, it's something that it was doable. So I decided to do it. I didn't know what I was doing. I looked online. It was an open house for teachers. And I enrolled for that and I went. So I met a really good person there that's still at the school now. And I was able to talk to her. She let me come in, tour the school. And when I tell y'all I work at the bomb school, I work at the bomb school. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, the program is just awesome. I believe that more schools should incorporate that program, but it is a really awesome program. I've only ever been at that school. I don't really see myself teaching anywhere else, but it is really good. So anyway, I ended up getting hired and I started working there. So I worked in the lab up until August I may have been like the very last day in July, early August, and then I started my teaching career. So one reason why I had to work that up until that time, and I really wasn't able to take a break, is because with this new teaching job, we only get paid once a month. And you have to also work a month in a hole before you can even get your pay. And I don't want to say like a month in a hole, but pretty much, yeah. So, and I guess because I'm saying that because if I work in August, I couldn't expect to get a paycheck until the very end of August. So I had to work and continue to work at the lab until that time. So that's just a little bit about how I got started. So when I went to, or actually when I was working at the lab, when I left the job before that was not in my field, I actually took a pay cut to go work in the lab just so I could build up some experience. And I guess it kind of worked out because I'm here now. So anyway, that's just a little bit about my background. So I was offered my first teaching position, and again, I went and dug up. This is my offer letter here. And it says, on behalf of public schools, it is our pleasure to confirm your acceptance of biology teacher at blank and blank high school. Your annual salary will be... So this was maybe going on 12 years ago or so. But coming out, my salary was $37,000, a little bit above $37,000, because I had no type of experience and I just have a bachelor's degree. Of course, the more experience you have, you get paid more. And also, if you go above a bachelor's degree, let's say for instance you have a master's degree, then you would get paid more. But on a bachelor scale, this is what I got paid. So that was my salary. I had to fill out some documentation and bring that back with any job, and then I had my orientation. So this was exciting to me in and of itself. $37,000 may not sound like a lot to y'all, but it worked for me because, again, I took a pay cut going to work in that medical lab, and this was still more. Even when I got ready to leave the medical lab, my supervisor, she was like, well, we don't necessarily want you to go. I want to offer you a 5% increase in a raise. I'm like, 5%? What is that going to do? It's going to do absolutely nothing, and not for the conditions that I was working in. Like, y'all, I absolutely hated working at this lab. They really, I felt like, too, and I know it was a lot of work. The company, they really need to hire more people. But really, I felt like you really had to raise your hand if you needed to go to the restroom. It was too much. It was too much work that had to be kicked out for the amount of people and to meet the deadline, because everything had to get shipped or go on a plane by a certain time so that it could reach the corporate or the main office or the main building. So I absolutely hate it. I'm like, 5%, that's going to do nothing. Even if I went somewhere and made, $4 more. I don't care if it was $1 more. If I felt like if it was going to benefit me, I would have went. So that $37,000, it was a significant increase for me. So I was happy about that. At that time, I was actually still staying with my mom. And I really did not have a car payment. So only thing I really had to worry about at that time was like student loans and, just trying to give her a little bit extra. But so that $37,000 kind of worked for me. Now, a little bit, maybe about a month or so after staying with my mom, we had to move. So she moved into her own place and I moved into my own place. Now, I had some money saved up anyway, but I was fortunate enough to not have to pay that much of a deposit. And I was shocked because I was like, my credit? But I guess I really had kind of like stuff from college, those credit cards and things like that. But I think I maybe had to pay maybe like $100 to $200 for the deposit for where I moved. And the neighborhood, oh my gosh, was one of the best neighborhoods I ever lived in. I had to leave because year after year you re-sign the lease, the rent goes up, and it was about to be like $13.50 a month. Plus, I still had to pay like $50 a month for my dog just to live there. And I just felt like that was too much. Like, I don't own this, so I don't want to continue to stay there. So I went and looked and found somewhere else to go. But it is a really good neighborhood. Never really had any issues. I had awesome neighbors and everything. But you're talking about $13.50 a month, and my salary is only $3,700 a month. That's a lot. I mean, $37,000 a year. That's a whole lot. So just to kind of give you a little breakdown of my salary, I kind of took some pictures of what to expect. So let me grab my phone so I can go over that. So I took a picture and put it in my phone so you could see. Now, let's see. So keep in mind, had I kept up and I stayed at that place with my $37,000 salary paying $13.50 a month, it just was not going to happen. So anyway, my first paycheck that I got, and you couldn't get this one direct deposit, so this is kind of my second paycheck, but I'm a salary employee. My pay is not going to change either way. So this is the second paycheck, and I still have record of that I got. So my take-home pay. Now, I'm going to deduct out what we get paid at the school that I work at. We get a little bit extra because we do teach for an extended day. Most people, they are in school for about 6 hours or so. We are there 8+ hours a day. So we do get an extended pay for that. I won't disclose how much that is. But just going without that pay, let's see if I do the calculation. Let me put it in my calculator. Minus. This would have been my take-home pay. And you're talking about if I take out $13.50 for that, and that leaves me with that to pay electric, to pay cable, all of that stuff. It just was not enough money. Also, I still had extra money too coming in, and it wasn't that much extra, but again, the school I work at, it is an awesome school. I believe in the program, so our kids do have to attend on Saturdays sometimes. So that was just a little bit extra too coming in for Saturdays. So I was able to sustain my lifestyle with that. But again, on a normal teacher salary, I don't know. You have to do other things to sustain your lifestyle if you want more. I don't know, maybe do some tutoring. I know our district, they do have a list of tutors that go out, teachers that are willing to tutor. And they send that out to parents if they need a tutor for those subjects. So tutoring is a good way. If you can start your own tutoring program, that's also good. I know a lady, she did her own tutoring program, and just to drive children to and from that program, the pay was like $35 an hour. So money is out there and it is available to make. But that's how much I made from my first paycheck. Now, I'm going to talk about that a little bit because it can be a little bit misleading. So let me go back. I'm looking at my phone. Let me go back and pull up that picture. Well, Lord, where is it? Okay, so just talk about my pay. So we get paid, again, a set amount because we are salary employees. Now, a couple of things that came out in my paycheck that you should expect, and again, I work, again, we only get paid once a month. So, this is what's coming out per month. So it may sound like a lot, but this is per month. So basically per month when I first started, my health insurance was about $50 a month, and that was for PPO. And I also had vision that was about $7 a month, and then I had dental for about $33 a month. So what is that? 33 plus 7, that's 40 plus 50. So $90 a month coming out for all my medical stuff. And I don't have any kids. I didn't have any at that time. So that was just, for me, I didn't think that was too bad coming out. Now, here's a big chunk that's going to come out. Federal income tax. I kept saying, Mom, what is FIT and SIT? Because that is a lot coming out of my paycheck. So only getting paid once a month, and I believe I filed, I think I filed maybe one or so. I don't know, I can't remember. But federal income tax coming out was, for this paycheck, was $392. So $392 for federal income tax. And with me not having any kids or anything, I still had to pay taxes back that next year. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So what I did, I went and changed how much comes out. Well, after that year, I went and changed how much would come out for federal taxes, because that was a lot to pay back. State income tax had to come out, which is not as grand as federal, but that was $160 that came out of my paycheck. So you're talking about, let me add this up, 392 plus 160. That's $552 out of my check already just for taxes. And again, having to pay back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to purchase a house or something like that, because this is just not fair. So $552 just about came out every month for a year just in taxes. And then with the $90 for my health insurance, that puts me at around $642. So again, what I showed you earlier, that was my net pay. My gross pay was much different. So we're just adding up right now all of my exemptions before we get to the gross pay. Another thing that came out, of course, was your Social Security, or mine. So for that pay period, that was another $200. So actually it was $216 and some change. So if I add that up, that puts me at $858 already coming out of my paycheck per month. And that's just in taxes, medical insurance, and Social Security. So anyway, I'm not mad about that, because I need Social Security when I get ready to retire. So wasn't really upset about that. But here's the thing, and what people may not tell you when you get ready to teach, we get paid over 10 months. That is our pay period. We get paid over 10 months. So that 37,000, let's see, put that in my calculator, 37,350 divided by 10, that's about $3,735 for those 10 months. And in 2 months, you just don't have any type of pay. So if I do it over a 12-month pay period, then you're talking about $3,112.50 per month. So this is what I do, and you have the option to do either. Now, when you get ready to, when you go in and fill out all of that new hire paperwork, they ask you, do you want to get paid over 10 months, or do you want to get paid over 12? So of course, that 10-month pay period was about $3,700, and the 12-month was about $3,100. So me, I don't know how to quite handle that money yet. I decided to get paid over 12 months. So what happens with that is that they have to take out extra out of what you're going to get paid per month so that you can get paid over 12 months. So this was a large sum coming out of my paycheck. So let me see if I can find that picture to tell you exactly how much they took out. Um, let's see, and they call it reserve pay. So that reserve pay, are you ready? Was $714.71. Now, I was like, oh my goodness. Immediately when I saw that, I was like, I have to change that. I called my mom, like, I have to change that. That is a lot coming out of my paycheck. So I quickly found out that I could not change it right then. I had to wait to actually change that. Feels like a piece of hair somewhere. So I had to keep it for that year. So I decided, and I've never changed it, so I don't know what that lump sum feels like, getting it all at one time. I just don't trust myself. I'd rather just say, hey, hold this pay. That way, in the summer, I can make sure I'm getting some money. And I work in the summer anyway, but just, as a cushion, I wanted to make sure I was going to get that money. So that's $714 that came out. Now, so what I showed you earlier, I said that, Lord, this phone is acting crazy. I said that this was my pay, if you remember. And again, I took out what we make for additional pay at the school. But if I add back that 700 and $14, this is what my pay would have looked like. So that's not bad considering, for a single person, I guess that's not bad. And this phone is going dead. So that's what my pay would have been, but just a reminder again, that's only over a 10-month pay period. It is not 12 months. So 12 months, I was looking at around 2,100, maybe a little more, but 10 months is about 2,900. So that worked for me. Again, and people tell you don't get in it for the pay. As you can see, obviously it's not about the pay. What I loved and why I wanted to start teaching, and this is what I said when I went on my interview, being in that medical lab, it was the same stuff every day. It was so monotonous. I did the same thing every day, day in, day out. And again, for a long time, I was secluded. It was just me. And it was no fun in that. So teaching is a lot of fun. Every day is rewarding when you see students and they're able to just kind of recite back what you are saying without thinking. I absolutely love it. Another thing, I just absolutely get control over my entire day. I get to do what I want to do within good measure, of course. But I get to do what I want to do with my day. Every day is different. You cannot go into teaching thinking you're going to have the same day. Every day is absolutely different, and I absolutely love it. It's not another thing that I could ever think about doing. All of these other jobs, going to work sometimes, it's just like, oh, I don't feel like going. Why did I choose this? But teacher, I never have to question that. I'm not going to lie. It is a lot of hard work. You do work for every little brown penny that you get paid. But again, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. So, I just wanted to go over my first paycheck because some of y'all may want to know what a teacher gets paid coming out. So, again, this was me with no experience. There's that piece of hair. No experience, and that was my pay. Let's see, just going through my notes, make sure I covered everything. Yeah, I think that is about it. So, if you have any questions, any comments, then just drop those below. I will try to make sure I answer any of those. If you would like to see any more videos on other topics, then let me know, and I will try to get those up. Now, I am on spring break this week, so that's why I'm trying to crank out all of these videos right now. So if you see me in this outfit again doing another video, then that's why, because I really don't have the time when I go back to work. And really today is my only day because my schedule is pretty busy from now on out. I still have to post grades for one of my classes. And I just have a lot of stuff that I need to get done, and I still have to lesson plan for next week when we go back. So make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm very excited again to just kind of help with things with teachers. So again, if you have any questions, drop those below. I will see y'all back in a few for another video.
Damn. Yeah.